Ну что, всем привет, друзья! С вами я, Максим, вы на канале Fresh Games, и я продолжаю проходить игру Bound by Flame. Вот мы добрались до безопасной деревушки, и сейчас нужно разыскать капитана и узнать, что он от меня хочет. Такое спокойное местечко. Мне нравится. Так, модификация снаряжения, там что-то там. Не успел прочитать. Может, можно что-то модифицировать? Да, действительно можно. Физический урон и вероятность критического урона. Нет, вероятность критического урона нельзя улучшить, не хватает ингредиентов, поэтому давайте улучшим физический урон. Переработка. Что это? Полученные ингредиенты. Руда 4 штуки и кожа. Почему она не улучшает? Здесь вот заменить лунная горда на лунная горда, то есть вероятность получить ингредиенты. Что-то не совсем понятно, ну ладно. Разберемся. Совсем разберемся. Просто давайте сейчас тогда уже найдем капитана.
Swamp is our best defense. Happily, the wildlife are just as keen on attacking the deadwalkers as they are the villagers. But the situation here in Valvanor grows worse daily. And each new wave of refugees increases the risk of drawing unwanted attention to this jungle.
No Ice Lord scouts who find this village will ever escape to tell the tale. Of that, I can assure you. Also, my men are reinforcing your defenses. Forgive me for saying, but you have some serious weak points. Especially the defenses around that refugee camp of yours.
The arrival of the Freeborn Blades and the Red Scribes has greatly improved our chances of survival, Captain. Believe me when I say that we are most grateful to have you with us. Needless to say, your men and the Red Scribes are welcome and free to go where they will. But as for any other newcomers, our gates are closed. You must understand that our food stores are as limited as our abilities to defend our village. Until you arrived, we had but one person who was even vaguely capable of treating our injured, and the case of Prince Orendale was completely beyond her skills. And there is this beast story, doubtless another fairy tale, the fruit of an alcohol-addled brain. Nonetheless, several of the watch have gone missing. Something hidden in these swamps is causing these disappearances, but we cannot risk sacrificing any more of the few men remaining to us on sending patrols. Large groups entail moving chrysalids that are unmanageable. The others, quite simply, do not return.
Silence.
If I were to listen to everyone, I would need 10 times the number of men I have to verify the truth of every tale.
Enough. You must aid me to do this. I am not able to do that. Your endless wailings are unbearable.
In the name of Vulcan?
But by the gods, man, what is...
This world is condemned. The cold hath invaded its ground, its souls, and its heart. Yet here you stand, weaving your limbs like fish taken from the water, miserably shuffling about to conserve the illusion of warmth and life, and not feel the passing of your last breath, while I must endure your wailings and lamentations. Pitiful.
Vulcan, stop this nonsense immediately.
It is not he who speaks. All doth fall to ruin about you, yet you still bewail your loose bowels and vomitings. You cannot vanquish your dead walkers, no more than you can vanquish their necromancer masters. They draw their power from the very heart of the world. They drink it, they suckle it dry. Your only chance to cleanse what your own hath corrupted is to go to the World Heart and liberate it from its servitude.
The World Heart is a myth, a forgotten fairy tale, no more real than dragons or dwarves.
A myth. Continue hiding behind thy puny barricades, and thou wilt soon join thy myths and fairy tales.
Cease your pretense. I know you have returned to consciousness.
What the hell happened? I was just listening to the steward blabbing away with the captain and then...
And then you lost control.
I don't know, it's like something in my head zapped me so it could use my mouth. But I was still there, still thinking what I was saying.
This is not the first time you have felt this presence manifest itself.
No. No, it's been there since the temple. It's also in my dreams. I think...
Interesting. It would seem that your body is host to some other entity. And it is clearly a spirit of fire.
No kidding. I got a demon in my head.
Something of the kind. In truth, I could not say what it is. Not yet, at least.
Don't make me laugh. After all, it's your disciples that let this thing out of its cage, right?
That has nothing to do with it. Do you have any idea of the implications of this incident?
What? Just because I said some weird shit? Believe me, it's not the first time that's happened.
Obviously, you haven't understood. The thing that is inside you, it wishes you ill. There is not enough space inside you for two souls. That demon wants your body. It will control you more and more until it has replaced you completely.
Ha! Thou thinkest I crave the body of a mortal? I am a prisoner here. My place is in the World Heart.
It will not hesitate to lie to you, to tell you that which you wish to hear, so that you will allow it to consume you.
I never asked for this cage. I never asked to be forced to hear thy every thought. It is I who have been invaded.
It speaks to you. Do not listen to it. Cast it from you. If you do not resist, it will crush your soul.
Hey, take it easy. One day at a time, okay? I'm gonna take a walk.
Так, что происходит со мной? Ну, ладно, новый уровень. Давайте уже, наверное, полностью улучшим. Или хотя нет. Вот, со здоровьем давайте вот так вот поступим, чтобы здоровье восстанавливалось. Везунчик. Вероятность найти предмет у врага увеличивается на 20%. Стальной дождь. Приобрету, думаю, лишним не будет. Ну что, побежали. Нужно проветриться, как он сказал, потому что со мной явно что-то не так. Объединить компоненты. Чтобы получать материалы высшего качества, объединяйте компоненты напрямую в меню предметы. Вот они, компоненты. Ага. За них можно получить золото, как я понимаю. Ладно, хорошо. Возьмем на заметку.
Here we go. Another one of these hick refugees. There's nothing for you here.
Call me a hick one more time, and I'll be using your face as an anvil.
Let's all remain calm, shall we? Please forgive my error. With all this commotion and all the thankless tasks I find myself confronted with, I often find my attention to detail slips. So, what can I do for you?
Ну что, давайте посмотрим на его товары, что у него есть в его апартаментах. Нет, или давайте все же глянем, вернее спросим об этой деревне.
I need more info about Valvanor.
And you have decided that I have a sympathetic face. It's the story of my life. Talent worthy of a king's ransom, but surrounded by cretins who only seek that which is free.
What can you tell me about the steward?
Oh, don't expect me to say anything bad about Berthoff Chambriad. I'm not always in agreement with him, but I can see that he knows his business. And he keeps the village relatively safe.
It's not often you see an elf blending in with other cultures. Are there many of you here in Valvanor?
To my knowledge, I was the only one. That is until Prince Arundel and his acolyte arrived. Does that pose a problem for you?
Not at all.
Well, it does for me. His Majesty the Prince of Imbeciles is going to bring us nothing but trouble.
And the Red Scribes? Know anything about them?
Oh, certainly. A boring bunch of fusspots, spreading science and preaching the good word while never suspecting that anyone might see through their little game.
Our game? Well, pray tell, give us the details. Please, give us the benefit of your extensive knowledge.
I don't pretend to know about all their little plots. I spend very little time with them, and frankly, I couldn't possibly care less about them. But I am fully aware that pretty speeches serve no better purpose than manipulating minds. They're nothing more than noisy masks behind which hides a reality that is far uglier. The more the melody is sweet, the better it distracts you. And is there anything more disgustingly melodious than the discourse of a red scribe?
When it comes to disgusting discourse, you seem to be something of an expert.
Do you know the woman who runs the healing house?
Oh, of course. She's all one hears about lately. Everyone here will tell you that she's a courageous woman, fighting a noble battle. Everyone but me. The woman's insane. There are already far too many mouths to feed in this camp. Clearly, she's fully aware of this, yet she stubbornly insists on making things worse.
Let's talk about something else.
Давайте еще спросим у него, что тебе известно о звере, который нападает на местных жителей.
The steward said there was a beast attacking the villagers.
This is what one hears, yes. Something is wandering through the swamps, devouring the reckless. The saddest part is that it's often the guards who end up lost, along with their equipment. Meanwhile, we are overrun with refugees who serve no useful purpose at all.
Ну что, давай показывай свои товары, что у тебя есть.
Show me what you have for sale.
Ah, gold. So vulgar to work with. So wonderful to own.
Угу. Значит, пронзатель. Что-то можно прочесть про него? Скорее всего, нет. Да, можно только вот глянуть, что тут скорость атаки 25%. Почему-то и сразу же минус 25%. Вероятность критического удара плюс 10. Плюс тут бонусы. Так. Меч. Вот такой вот. Ну, у меня не хватает золотых. Поэтому я могу только посмотреть и все. Соответственно, на это тоже не хватает. Зато можно купить себе вот такую вот кирасу. Угу. Защита, конечно, больше. Я даже не знаю. Купить это означает, что потратить все свои деньги практически. Но зато это будет какая-никакая, но броня. Получше, во всяком случае, чем та, что сейчас одета на мне. Ну что, давайте ее приобретем. Продать. Что я тебя соблазняю, нет? Так, ладно. Одеваем, и, возможно, можно улучшить. Да, вот, драгоценный камень, трофей. Урон от ловушек плюс 5. Ну, худо-бедно, ну. Все же лучше, чем ничего. Но у меня показывают вроде как там еще 2 квеста. Может, это дополнительные? Да, давайте вернемся и поговорим еще раз с капитаном или, блин, как его? Постоянно я забываю. Староста. Со старостой. И покажем Севиле местную фауну. Нет, ну староста здесь, значит. Давайте сначала сюда. Че я сразу с ним не поговорил? Вот это вот. Я не знаю.
Mr. Vulcan, what brings you here?
I've got a few questions I'd like to ask about this village.
I imagine there are few who are better placed than myself to answer them.
Давайте по очереди будем задавать вопросы ему.
How come it's you that's running the show here?
What a question. Because, my friend, someone has to. You imagine I'm doing this for my amusement, perhaps? Doubtless you wish it was someone else. The chief of the watch has trouble organizing 3 peasants. Our dear apothecary is evidently keen to give succor to any and every poor soul who wanders into the healing house. And regardless of your reputation, the people of this village would never trust outsiders such as yourself, or even the Red Scribes. So yes, it is indeed I who command here. The one-time steward of the hunting lodge of Valvanor, now leader of this shithole.
Well, hell. Glad we got that cleared up. What can you tell me about the people of Valvanor?
Before the war, there were just a few families here. Hunters and craftsmen, mostly. These days, they survive as best they can, husbanding their animals and digging up the puny vegetables they've managed to grow. Few dare to venture outside the walls. These woods are fruitful, but more perilous than ever before, and most of these folk know nothing of arms.
But you've got your guards.
They hardly qualify as an armed militia. Of the few that remain, most are sturdy farmers whom we have entrusted with some kind of weapon. Most of the real fighters left the village as soon as war broke out. The others died while out on patrol. The only one left here with any real experience is Mason, the head of the guard. Sadly, the man is a walking beer keg, who could not give a dog's fart for what his men are about.
Who are all those refugees that you're keeping outside the walls?
The war with the Ice Lords has driven many from their homes and villages. Alas, it would seem that some of them found their way here. I have tried to accommodate as many as we can, and provide as much comfort as possible, but I fear we can do little more. We are reaching the end of our reserves, and relations between the refugees and the villagers are becoming strained.
The refugees can't all be dead weight. Some of them have got to be useful.
Oh, if only. Believe me, I would be the first to welcome them. These peasants have been fleeing from town to town and from camp to camp for months. The best and strongest of them perished in battles, somewhere along the way. I must deal with the leftovers. I put the biggest of them in the watch, but they are of little use.
The healing house. It's a pretty good thing for your village, huh?
If you say so. As time has gone by, the healing house has drawn refugees to the swamps in ever greater numbers, and dissuaded some malingerers from returning to their families. When it opened its doors a year ago, the sense of relief was palpable. It was run by a couple, an elf doctor and his apothecary wife, who clearly were no strangers to the healing arts. Thanks to them, we were spared many plagues. But as the war dragged on, the endless tide of refugees continued to flow through our gates until we could harbor no more. 6 months ago, our worst nightmares were fulfilled. Our elf doctor fell ill and died. Since then, Mirana has soldiered on without rest, alone. I do not know how much longer she can keep going. The refugees just keep on coming. And I fear that poor woman is beginning to crumble under the strain. It's not surprising.
I need a blacksmith. Do you have one here?
With none more qualified, I asked Asiel to take over the village forge. I suppose I should warn you, he's quite a tricky character. He has a huge ego and is stubborn as an ox. Before the war, he was a sort of artist. He crafted jewelry and sculptures from metal. Despite running the forge, one could hardly call him a blacksmith. But he's the only one here who had even the vaguest notion of how to repair a shovel or straighten a blade.
Ну что, давайте спросим, какая-нибудь работа
The captain wants
найдется.
me to help your village. You got a job I can do?
With our shortages of food and fighting men, our worn-out equipment and the growing lines at the healing house, I cannot deny our village is sorely in need of help. Sadly, I fear that these are not the sort of problems you are used to dealing with, unless I'm much mistaken.
Maybe I'll surprise you. I need the reports about this beast that attacked the villagers.
I fear I am unable to be of help. I'm still not entirely convinced that it even exists. All I know is that several villagers have vanished. One villager is at present in the doctor's care, following a supposed encounter with the said beast. These swamps are crawling with dangers. There is nothing to suggest anything out of the ordinary. The refugees are always inventing horror stories in an attempt to force us to open our gates and let them inside.
It might be worth checking it out. You said you lost one of your patrols, right?
That is so. You should speak with Randval. He was most anxious to go out and hunt the beast down, but we needed him here. Now that we have more able bodies to guard our gates, I imagine he would be keen to pick up the scent once more.
Your guards... How can I put this? At first, I thought they were disobeying orders. Now I think maybe they don't even understand them. If you're stupid and incompetent, you should be digging turnips, not taking care of security.
You're beginning to worry me. Is it really that bad?
Are you kidding me? The state of their weapons is enough to make you cry. Maybe they'd be good for splitting logs.
Personally, I'm not capable of judging the aptitude of our sentries, but their poor results speak for themselves. Doubtless, you should share your observations with Mason, the chief of the watch. I should warn you, however, that he is of a somewhat stubborn nature.
Wouldn't be the first I've seen. We'll talk again later.
Ну что, вот поговорили со старостой о проблемах. Но по идее не все доп-квесты мы выполнили. Так, сейчас. Еще что-то надо
Mr. Vulcan.
спросить.
What brings you here?
I've got a few questions I'd like to ask about this village. Let's talk about work. So what's the problem with the healing house?
Quite simply, Mirana cannot keep up. She spends every waking minute giving out supplies to the refugees and refuses to admit that she cannot help everyone. She thinks she's fooling me. I have heard rumors that her food stock is running low. Unsurprisingly, the crowds outside are becoming restless. I believe they wish to continue handing out our food reserves as though they were unlimited. This is not the case, and thus, it is not an option.
So, you want someone to put her down?
Why, I never suggested any such thing. I just wish she would see reason, for all our sakes. But I have asked nothing of you. I was merely answering your question.
We'll talk again later.
Есть. Отлично. Нужно теперь отправляться к Миране и поговорить с ней. Она где-то находится в лечебнице. А где находится лечебница? Прерывание действий. Способность прерывать действия соответствует мощи ваших ударов. Чтобы выше этот параметр, чем выше этот параметр, тем больше вероятность, что ваши атаки прервут действия врага. Сопротивление прерыванию — это ваша способность продолжить действие, когда вас атакует враг. О, вот это я собрал тут. И арбалетные болты, и вроде какое-то оружие, да. Но оно хуже. Хуже нашего. Да, тут бонусы, конечно, есть. Но нет. Я его одевать не стану. Давайте глянем карту. Так, значит, это если... Ага, вот она, Мирана. Это мне надо отправляться в эту сторону. Так, давайте ящичек разломаем. Зелье здоровья. Отлично. И кожа. Кто из вас Мирана? Вот она.
My goodness, let's see. You're not pissing blood, you're not vomiting your guts out. Both legs are in place and they seem to be holding you upright. Congratulations. It looks like you'll pull through. And now you'll excuse me, but I have other miracles to accomplish, and not much time to devote to people in your condition.
Take it easy there, Doc. I'm with the Freeborn Blades, not one of your refugees.
You could be Blackstorm himself for all I care. Now get out of my way, I have things to do.
Блин, ничего себе. Чё она такая дерзкая?
Haven't you anything better to do than bother me?
Hang on a sec. The steward himself sent me here to give you a hand.
Wonderful. I've been after him for months to get me some help, and he sends me an armed ape. You practice medicine, I presume? Your tools seem rather barbaric.
Hey, I might actually surprise you.
Really? Well, in that case, I need some black ochre water lilies, some root of varatane, and some lindidia leaves. Since you're so clever, you won't have any trouble recognizing them and bringing them back.
Insolent little puppy.
Even I would be unable to recognize those herbs without the help of my father or of Sylvan. I think that this woman is mocking you.
Is that so? Well, the fact is, I have great need of those plants.
I'm no fucking herbalist, and you know it. If you want to see what I can do, give me a shot. Either you need help and you want me to handle it, or you don't, and you deal with it yourself.
Well then, I suppose I have nothing to lose. In fact, there is something that you could doubtless do for me. I'm worried about my assistant Heyman. I haven't seen him for a while now, and I fear he might have gone into the swamps to look for the plants I need. We're forced to venture further and further in to find the plants we need. With all that's been going on lately, I forbade him from going back out alone, but the boy is nothing if not stubborn.
Stubborn? Yeah, I hate people like that.
Please find him. He's a good boy. He's done nothing but help others since he arrived. Without him, the House of Healing would be a house of death.
If I'm gonna be slogging through the swamps anyway, might as well take a look around and try to bring back the plants you need too, right? You got any drawings or descriptions?
Yes, that's a good idea. I would be grateful to you. But above all, try to bring back my assistant Haman in one piece. He is your priority. For the rest, basically, I need food, medicinal herbs, and of course, I wouldn't say no to a few pre-prepared potions. All of our stock seems to disappear so quickly. I'll give you the parchment that I made for Haman to help you recognize the specimens I need. He knows them by heart now, after so many trips.
Right. Plants, potions, chow, and one assistant. If I come across any elven tea, would you like a cup of that too?
That would be lovely.
А что, может что-то прикупить у нее можно?
I'd like to see what you have to sell.
Порченная кровь. Это кровь порченных существ. Она несет в себе следы магии. Применяется при трансформации материалов. Так, самоцвет. Усиливает магические свойства. Прах сердца. Вулканическая пыль, обладающая редкими магическими свойствами, используется для зачарования материалов. Так, порченная сталь. Усиленная с помощью магии сталь, из которой куют легендарное оружие и снаряжение. А по стоимости тоже она легендарная. Кости. Порченные кости — это обычные кости, укрепленные магией. И порченная кожа — это кожа, также укрепленная магией. Зелья. Как, у тебя нет зелий? Ну да, потому что у нее все на исходе, она так сказала. Так, поговорите с местной целительницей. Есть. Соберите провизию для беженцев. Обязательно соберем, но уже в другой серии, друзья. Я буду с вами прощаться. Подписывайтесь на канал. А с вами был Максим. Увидимся уже совсем скоро. Всем пока.